No matter if it's Sun Xiaosheng to Sun Wukong, Tang Banji to Tang Sanzang, there are too many characters, images, and expressions that make the simplified and rich plot of the later works seem like a reflection of the originals. We know that watching an excellent novel or movie, the first time the sensory impact of the plot is the strongest. It's very hard to find that feeling again on the second or third viewing. This is the biggest problem with the later Journey to the West. It copies the structure of Journey to the West too much, losing the value of careful reading and thinking. It's like I've already read Dream of the Red Chamber. Why would I spend the effort to read another book? Just changing the characters and locations, but the plot is almost the same as Dream of the Red Chamber, and the writing might not even be as good as the original. This is something that Black Myth Wukong should avoid when exploring what happens after Wukong's journey to the West. If there's no originality, why not call it Journey to the West 3A Game Edition, or later Journey to the West 3A Game Edition instead of Black Myth Wukong? The third continuation of Journey to the West has character and plot breakdowns. The continuation of Journey to the West is the lowest rated, most chaotic, and most criticized of the three stories. The biggest problem with this book is that as a narrative, it doesn't respect the original. After 14 years of trials and tribulations to obtain the true scriptures, the Tang monk and his disciples have perfected their virtues and cultivated their minds. Especially Wukong, whose heroic image in the later part of Journey to the West is significantly ruined, ultimately becomes a character that is disliked by many readers. The book is clever, but the plot is sparse. The preaching is long and smelly, seriously violating the original's main theme and the author's attitude towards religion and human nature. As Mr. Liu famously remarked, dramatization is not nonsense, and adaptation is not random. This is why I first briefly explained the main theme and religious attitude of the original Journey to the West. A good adaptation should, at the very least, show respect for the original work. Respecting the original characters and themes for a sequel is the best creation. So why is A Chinese Odyssey still considered a classic today? Didn't A Chinese Odyssey change anything? In fact, looking back at A Chinese Odyssey, we find that whether it's Supreme Treasure or Tang Monk, although the timeline is different, they still retain their original characteristics. Wukong's rebelliousness and Tang Monk's pedantic nagging. These images, which have long been fixed in our minds, not only weren't deleted, but became one of the driving forces of the plot, making it a very classic adaptation. Also, the TV series Journey to the West. The sequel, although often criticized for its filming techniques, the script was handled very well. It kept the original character settings as much as possible while being logically appropriate, and Wukong's character was further sublimated and developed, making it an enduring classic. Okay, next is the explanation of the foreshadowing in the original chapters and characters, which is one of the most important parts of this video. It's even more important than the later analysis of Black Myth, Wukong's plot. If you decide to skip this part and go straight to the plot analysis of Black Myth, I truly believe you won't understand more than 20 words before you start cursing me for wasting your time. You'll likely get frustrated and then turn off the video altogether. Don't forget the production team's words, intriguing characters, thought-provoking dialogues, and even terrifyingly detailed plots. Here we will expand on the foreshadowing in the original and how it corresponds to the characters and plots in Black Myth, Wukong. There are many academic viewpoints and ongoing controversies in this particular area of study. In the original version, which chapters make readers feel very strange? Since the video's conclusion will focus on Black Myth, Wukong, let's talk about the seemingly glamorous but actually dark side of the original's plot with a thick-skinned attitude. One of the most controversial plots in the entire Journey to the West is the chapters 56 to 58, The True and False Monkey King. Discussions and research on this particular chapter are as numerous as flies in the summertime. People have debated for ages whether the six-eared macaque is a manifestation of Wukong's inner conflict, or if it is a completely different monkey altogether. Is it in line with the poetic segments, or is the six-eared macaque merely a tool used by Buddha to replace the rebellious son Wukong? Could it be that the six-eared macaque serves as a means for Buddha to control or substitute the defiant son Wukong? Comparing Wukong's character changes before and after these chapters. Even the beginning of Black Myth, Wukong's PvE, discusses this controversy. Some say the one who became a Buddha wasn't the real Wukong, who had long died on the journey west. Moreover, in the PvE, when the protagonist saves Ling Shuzi with the Ruyi Jingu Bang, the image of the great sage equal to heaven, Wukong, reappears. So, understanding this part of the original story to reasonably explain the two monkeys in Black Myth, Wukong becomes particularly important. The True and False Monkey King. The whole story is about one day when the master and his 3 disciples encounter bandits. The first time, Wukong kills 2 bandit leaders, which already angers Tang Sanzang. Later, Wukong ignores Tang Sanzang's second warning to not harm anyone and just scare them away, and kills the bandits again. Tang Sanzang, citing Wukong's disobedience and reckless killing, recites the tightening spell and drives him away. This is the third and final time Tang Sanzang drives Wukong away. No matter how many times Wukong pleads, Tang Sanzang remains unmoved by their past relationship and insists on driving him away. After leaving, Wukong wants to return to Flower Fruit Mountain, but fears being laughed at by the little monkeys. Going to the Heavenly Palace, he fears rejection. Going to the Dragon Palace, he feels indignant. In the end, he turns back to find Tang Sanzang and begs for forgiveness. This is actually the best attitude that Wukong has shown after being driven away on 3 separate occasions. However, even after begging Tang Sanzang, he still refuses to forgive Wukong and recites the tightening spell over 20 times, finally forcing Wukong away. This time, Wukong's reaction is different from the past. At this moment, Wukong has an inner monologue of realization. This monk has betrayed my heart. Then, Wukong goes to Mount Lojia to complain to Guanyin. Tang Sanzang and his 2 disciples, Baji and Sha Monk, temporarily leave his side to find water. At this moment, the 6-eared macaque appears before Tang Sanzang, first kneeling on the ground to offer water to the thirsty Tang Sanzang. Unexpectedly, Tang Sanzang would rather die of thirst than forgive Wukong. Then, angered by Tang Sanzang's words, the 6-eared macaque changes his face, knocks Tang Sanzang unconscious with a stick, and takes the luggage and travel documents. Afterward, Sha Monk goes to Flower Fruit Mountain to find Wukong. Of course, Tang Sanzang first sends him to find Guanyin. Sha Monk doesn't listen and goes to Flower Fruit Mountain, where he encounters the fake Wukong. The fake Wukong wants the scriptures for himself, and even transforms several monkey spirits into Tang Sanzang and the others. After failing to get what he wants from the fake Wukong, Sha Monk visits Guanyin. The real Wukong is present now. Only after Guanyin proves Wukong's identity do they realize, oh, there are 2 Wukongs. Then, Sha Monk and Wukong go to Flower Fruit Mountain to confront the fake Wukong. In the end, no one can tell the real Wukong from the fake one. To distinguish the real from the fake, the 2 monkeys visit Guanyin Bodhisattva one after another, since both have the tightening spell and both feel the headache. Going to the Heavenly Palace to distinguish the real from the fake doesn't work, nor does seeing the master. At the 10 courts of hell, the King of Hell says the great sage erased the Book of Life and Death, leaving all monkeys and rats nameless and impossible to investigate. At this time, Dizang Bodhisattva's Diting hears the truth, but dares not speak. It is only after meeting the Buddha that the Buddha tells everyone that the fake Wukong is actually the 6-eared macaque, whose abilities are identical to the real Wukong. Finally, when the 6-eared macaque is revealed, he tries to escape but is covered by the Buddha's golden bowl, revealing his true form. In the end, Wukong kills him with a single blow. In this thrilling and captivating plot, as the Black Myth, Wukong system suggests, there are numerous instances of foreshadowing and many intriguing points to explore within this compelling storyline. The most important, most crucial thing is the mystery of the 2 hearts. The True and False Monkey King chapter revolves around the concept of the 2 hearts, which is the theme of the chapter. To understand this chapter, one must understand what the 2 hearts mean. In Journey to the West, concepts and ideas related to the heart appear 29 times. In the 100 chapters of Journey to the West, there are 19 chapters related to the heart source. So how should we understand the 2 hearts that disrupt the grand scheme in the True and False Monkey King chapter? Should we use Confucian heart studies to explain it? The terms heart and heart source are not exclusive to Confucian heart studies. In fact, the original heart is a specialized term in Taoist cultivation. As early as the Eastern Han Dynasty's Taoist classic, the Cantong Qi, it says, the heart's desires are uncertain, like a horse running in 4 directions, the spirit scattered outside. With the development of Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism in China, the term heart evolved from a Taoist term to a common term used by all 3 teachings. Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism have different views on what the 2 hearts are. So, should the 2 hearts mentioned here be understood according to the principles of Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism, or perhaps a combination of all 3 philosophies? First, let's talk about the discussion of the 2 hearts in Confucian heart studies and rational studies, starting with heart studies. In the mid to late Ming Dynasty, when Journey to the West was written, Prince Lu's heart studies were widely spread among the people. The Ming history records that disciples of heart studies were everywhere, spreading for over 100 years, and its teachings were highly influential. Regarding the issue of the 2 hearts, one can look at the famous Chuan Shi Lu, which contains Wang Yangming's views on the 2 hearts. This is a very non